Hey, something I've been noticing lately is that a lot of business owners, they look successful on the outside while quietly carrying more pressure and what really feels like weight for them, uh, and much more so than most of us realize. So that's what I really want to talk about today.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, welcome back to Franchise Pitfalls and Profits. The title of this episode is going to be a little bit different. We want to talk about the pressures and the weight, basically the stuff that most business owners aren't talking a lot about. And I want to shed light on the topic. And you're going to start noticing here over the next few months that my podcast is going to kind of shift a little bit. I'm going to try to make it more personal. I'm going to bring some of the real inside looks and inside stories to what business ownership looks like, to what growth looks like. And overall, just again, sort of like the Wizard of Oz, pull that curtain back and get an honest look at what it takes to operate the controls of a business. And so I've been noticing something lately. I've been talking about it a bit, and that is the fact that in conversations with business owners, with franchise owners even as well, people who are exploring businesses for the first time, the conversations that I'm having, I'm just realizing that there is a part of business ownership that isn't seen. It's not very visible. And honestly, people just aren't talking about it. There's an emotional weight of business ownership, not just the hours that you're putting in, not just the workload. There's a weight. It comes with the added responsibility. It comes with the added pressures on, meeting deadlines, meeting your own financial numbers that when you're an employee, you maybe never thought much about it because you knew that job was there, that salary was there, those medical benefits were there. So in business ownership, there's what I call often decision fatigue, especially if you're running a solopreneur type business or you're getting it started on your own. Guess what? Even which pens do I buy? Which pads do I buy? You can run into decision fatigue as a solopreneur. And overall, there's just so much uncertainty with being in business ownership. So what's interesting is that I think a lot of people are carrying it, actually look on the outside. They look very, very successful. They look polished, if you will. And the businesses may genuinely be growing. But again, the outside look versus the inside look could be very, very different. What's going on underneath that look? Is it a facade? Things are probably a lot heavier for the business owner than we realize. I have been noticing it in particular after the business show that I did down in Miami, where I was talking to hundreds of people over the course of a couple of days. And I just saw it in their faces when I asked certain questions. I saw certain reactions and I saw heads nodding agreement to some of the things we were talking about. Because when you get past that networking mode and that networking persona, people will then start talking to you honestly. At least they do to me with my 26 years of entrepreneurship, and I start to hear the real things. And I think it's important for business owners to have someone like me shedding light on it, being candid, being transparent, particularly if you're thinking of starting your own business, or even if you're starting your own business through a franchise. Um, I want you to recognize these things. I don't want it to put the fear of God in you to not do it, but I just want you to recognize, what the early stages of business ownership might look like, or the growth stages of business ownership. What will that look like? I think business owners are trying to figure out how to expand. I think they're trying to figure out, how can I slow down? I've been doing this for so many years. I thought eventually I'd get to a place where I could slow down. I was sharing with someone just the other day about how, and it was with one of our clients, how after, it was somewhere, I think around my 7th year in business ownership myself, where I took a 4 to 5 week vacation, sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. I did not go into the office except for once to sign a contract, because everything other than that signature, everything else could be done by the team that I had put in place. And because I owned the building at the time as well, I literally told my team, hey, don't call me unless the building's on fire. And I got laughs and chuckles. I'm there. No, seriously, I don't want to hear from you about anything unless there is a physical damage going on in my asset of the physical building. And so I didn't check emails. I wasn't checking on the phone, and no one called me for 4 to 5 weeks. So I was literally able to slow down, and that was really, really critical to create the team who took ownership, and to be able to put the structure, build the architecture that was able that allowed me to do that. People are also feeling, trying to figure out how to hire. I'm finding more and more with my clients, franchise partners, how difficult this hiring thing is. But it goes beyond just the hiring; it's leadership. So, are they projecting, even in the interview and recruiting process? Are they projecting that they are someone that their team, their employees could follow? People are considering, I was down in Miami, talked to a lot of people about should they franchise their business? Should their growth be scaling their system and not just doing more business? There's always second guessing in business ownership. Am I making the right decision for where I am now? And if you're not in a franchise system, if you're not using a coach, you're probably second guessing yourself from time to time. Sorry about that, folks. And overall, business owners are tired. They're tired physically, in addition to the mental strains. So most leaders, I think, are content today. They still sound like things are getting bigger. They're going faster than they thought. They're scaling more. They're pushing harder. Growth continues, even though they kind of like to slow it down. They're hearing, just do it. But honestly, these kinds of things change everything about business ownership. And sometimes there's this responsibility weight, this psychological weight. They sometimes get heavier before all of this actually gets easier. Especially when others are depending on you to make the decisions. Who are those people? Well, obviously your staff, your employees, but your customers, and you know what? Any vendors or partners in your business, and of course, your family. So, just so much starts to come down on us as business owners. And I want you to recognize the responsibility is real. It's very different than when you were an employee. I think many owners carry this, and those who may want to be owners don't recognize what fully comes with business ownership. And again, even in a franchise brand, um, it's easy to feel isolated. This is one of the things I love about franchising, because unless you push yourself away and into a corner, but franchising, and it's pretty difficult to be super isolated in a franchise system. But if you're an independent business owner, maybe your business is getting to the place where you want to create and scale by systems through franchising. People expect you to just be confident all the time, composed, polished. They expect you to be optimistic all the time. They expect certainty out of the people that employ them. Meanwhile, internally, you are second guessing yourself. You're tired. Maybe you're even exhausted. You're stressed. You are trying to protect other people from your own uncertainty. And that's what's going on inside. And you know what? This thing we call social media, it is of no help on this one. Why? Because everybody on social media looks so good. Everybody looks so polished. Everybody looks so happy. Everybody looks so successful. The reality is we don't know what's going on internally with all that we see on social media. And so if we take it at face value, we're going to be depressed thinking, oh, I'm the only one that's going through all of this. You rarely hear on Facebook about, or on social media or on LinkedIn, about the pressures, the fatigue, the loneliness sometimes, the second guessing, the uncertainty. You're just not hearing about the emotional side of responsibility. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions then is this idea that growth automatically is going to relieve all of this pressure, that growth is going to solve all of your problems. What I see in more cases than not is that growth multiplies your problems, multiplies your pressures. And that's especially true if your structure of your business, or what I've been starting to talk about, the architecture of your business, if it was not designed to hold the growth and the weight of what you're building. I'll give you a great example. And I think it was in Minneapolis, Minnesota years ago, where a bridge, a major bridge across a river collapsed. And here's what happened. It was designed, but there were some flaws in the design, and it held up for decades. But then somebody came along and said, well, we need to resurface. We need to resurface the bridge. And so that added extra weight onto the bridge. And then they decided to kind of take away the shoulders and add like 2 extra lanes. So suddenly, like 30-40% more volume was literally on the bridge every day. And eventually those weaker points, those points that were not designed structurally, part-wise, as well as just the whole ultimate system designed architecture of the bridge design, eventually the bridge just fell into the river. So that's what I'm talking about. It happens in business. If your structure, your architecture is not designed for the weight of the growth that you're putting on it, things are going to break down, and you're going to have problems, and that's going to cause you as the owner pressure on how to do it. So growth often amplifies, accentuates the problems that are structural and systems problems that you didn't even think about as your business started to grow. And it's true in franchising as well. If you're the franchisor, you have less than a dozen units. You can get 5 or 6 or 7 units on your enthusiasm, on pioneers and groundbreakers, people that want to be in your business, want to work with you. But eventually, as you start to get to double digit numbers, again, your structure most likely was not designed to go past 6 or 7 or 8 units. And sometimes people exploring franchise ownership. Hopefully, I've got people watching this that just want to learn and understand about business growth and understand about maybe starting their own business through franchising. Um, it's difficult to remove that pressure, and I want people to understand as you go through it. The franchising structure will help, and the franchising support around you will help, but you can't eliminate this pressure completely in the early stages, in the startup stages. Okay, so ownership across the board, then my point is it's going to carry emotional weight. You still have to find the right people, and those employees are going to depend on you. Your family's going to depend on you. Your customers are going to depend on you. Your bookkeeper looking to make payroll and where's the money financially is going to depend on you. And there's tremendous amount of leadership opportunities, which again, just people have not been looking. Even in the franchise systems, we've been seeing where there's a real lack of leadership capability on the part of the franchisees, the owners of the units. So I think it's important to have the honesty, not negativity. I am not trying to at all talk you out of starting a business or joining a franchise network. I just want you to realize and recognize what's going on. And if you have a business and you're thinking of scaling through franchising, again, I'm not trying to slow you down or stop you or diss franchising as a really, really good way to scale. I'm just trying to be transparent and honest with you. I actually think business ownership, including franchise ownership, can be incredibly rewarding and meaningful. It really, really was for me. And let me tell you my story. I worked with, excuse me, I don't know what's happening with my voice here, but I apologize. I worked with a career coach, and she slowed me down to think through the process. As I often say with people that I train on how to do this, she helped me paint the picture of what business ownership or being out on my own could look like. She helped me ascertain what did I like about corporate America or my particular jobs that I've had, and what did I dislike, what did I like doing, and what kinds of things would I really not enjoy doing. Maybe I have to hire somebody in the business to do it for me. I just had a really, really good picture of what I wanted to do, what structure business did I want to be in, and what did I want that business to provide. And it was business coaching, and it was training, and it was I took on a master franchise model, which is helping people become business owners through or become business coaches through franchising. So it was an incredible experience to have someone walk alongside of me as I was contemplating what did I want to do when I grow up, kind of thing. Sometimes people are simply chasing relief, and they don't have a clear picture of their future. We even looked at things like family. How is it going to impact my family? What hobbies do I like? Maybe what hobbies do I have that include my family? Is this going to be a business that someday I bring my family into? But relief from the corporate pressure, relief from stuck or plateaued careers, relief from lack of control because you've always got a boss deciding your fate for you. I reported to 4 vice presidents in the course of a year after my company was acquired. I used to joke about coming home with a bloody head because I was beating my head against the wall all day. These are the conversations and the light I want to shed on things from a personal standpoint, so you know these things going in. It did not deter me from moving forward. So I encourage you not to just look for relief, but look for what's the right decisions for you. Ownership should create freedom, but it's going to create responsibility first, and that's just the reality. I'm just being honest with you. I think healthier franchisees are usually the people who understand this before they move forward. So I think this kind of clarity is going to help you make decisions better. I think a lot of owners today don't necessarily need more opportunity. Those of you who already own a business, I don't think you need more opportunity. I think you need clearer thinking around those opportunities to determine which one of those opportunities are the right fit for you. So I think the ability to slow down on occasion, I'm not saying stop, but the ability to slow down long enough and ask, like, again, if you're a business owner already, what kind of growth actually fits my company? Can this business realistically support it? Again, think of architecture of that bridge. What season are you in? If you're far enough down the line, you really want to be kicking back more. You want to be turning more responsibility over to team. Growth at that time, could not really be what you want individually. So think about what fits the business best, but also think about what fits you and your lifestyle and your season in life and your family. So these are all important questions. I've probably started to become more reflective over the last couple of years as I've seen businesses grow, and I've helped people at different stations or stages in life, because the decisions you make about starting a business, growing an existing business, adding another business, another service line, diversifying, these decisions impact people. They impact your families, their stress levels. They impact your health and their health. They impact your identity. Maybe you've always been the owner of XYZ company, and now you want to go over and do this. So, because business can quietly become tied to your identity too, I think a lot of times this is a male thing, but I think it can be for anyone who's been, wildly successful in a career. When businesses are going well, everybody feels good. When they slow down, all of a sudden things are getting heavier. When growth stalls, you start to wonder if you're falling behind. What mistakes am I making? So I think more business owners need permission to simply admit, I'm feeling the pressure. I'm feeling the heaviness. And it's okay to feel that it's heavier at certain times in your business evolution. Doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that responsibility is becoming heavier. There's a weight to it that you may not have ever felt before. So healthiest conversations that I have with people, that I have with owners, who are admitting that they're tired, they're unsure, they're uncertain, they want to make better decisions. They're trying not to force growth. They're trying not to let it just happen or just automatically roll. And I think those are very, very healthy conversations. They're not pretending. I'm honest. I'm brutally honest. And that's the same thing I wanted to leave with you today. So it might not be about how fast I grow my business if you're an owner, but it might be what kind of business, what kind of life am I actually trying to build? For me, it really, really worked out well. As I said, I thought through things emotionally. I thought through personal and career fulfillment wise. And of course, I thought through the numbers, the finances, the what ifs, this happens or that happens. But I had help. If you don't have the kind of help that's asking you questions in these three areas, then get different help. If you are not getting any help at all, reach out to us. This is a big part of what our company does. And remember, these things are connected. Don't let anybody tell you that they're not. Please realize how connected we are emotionally, the fulfillment and personal satisfactions, as well as the finances. Be sure that whomever you're working with, again, gets that, gets it for you, will ask you those kinds of questions. Again, if you don't have anybody, please let us know. So I appreciate you. I am so thankful that you've joined me here today. And I am looking forward to seeing you on another episode real soon. Bye for now.